Hey guys, it's Sinead here from the Nest in Okotoks. I'm going to take you through a sequence from our Yoga for Healthy Aging series. And what you're going to need for this sequence is a sticky mat. As you can see, I'm on carpet, but my mat is nice and sticky. It doesn't move much on the carpet. And I have a chair. So ignore my artwork in the background that's actually on the wall. There's not a little girl holding onto the chair. This is one of our yoga chairs, which is a folding chair, but for you guys, you can use any kind of chair that's in your home, something that is sturdy and comfortable and that you can move easily, because we're going to move it around a few times. So we're going to start seated in the chair. Your feet are planted firmly on the floor, ankles under knees. Don't lean back on the chair. I want you to scooch a little bit forward so that we're using all those muscles to help us sit up nice and tall. Let's roll the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze them up and then slide them down the back, broadening across the chest. Let the hands rest. And we'll start to find the breath. So closing your eyes or softening your gaze here, we're going to take a few deep breaths together, trying to inhale in through the nose. Sigh the breath out the mouth. Inhaling in through the nose, trying to keep the breath nice and deep. And part your lips and sigh the breath out. Once more, take a really deep inhale, fill up the ribs, fill up the lungs with air. And sigh that breath out. Starting to feel the mind start to slow down here. We're going to think about the breath as a wave moving through the body. So as you inhale, feel the breath fill up your belly. Let all the muscles soften in the belly. Fill up the rib cage, all the way up to the throat. And then slowly release that breath. Again, moving through the belly, through the abdomen, up into the rib cage, taking all the breath in right up into the throat. Exhale, release. Soften in the shoulders with that release. And stay with this breathing pattern, feeling the breath move like a wave through your body just for a few more breaths. And at the same time, feel the crown of the head extending towards the ceiling. The shoulders are over the hips. We are sitting up nice and tall. The shoulders soften away from the ears and the chest is broad. Allowing the nervous system to calm down, and I want you to think about leaving every thought of stress and busyness and what comes next in your day right outside the door. And usually at this stage of the class we try and take our gaze inward. But today, just for a moment of connection, how about we take our gaze outward and think of our colleagues in the class, the faces that we would usually see coming to Yoga for Healthy Aging. Imagine that you're walking into the nest on a beautiful bright morning, feeling that connection with the other people, knowing that there are other people out there, and that we are all in this together, and we can take part in this practice together. At the bottom of your next exhale, just softly opening the eyes. Lower the hands to either side of the body, and as you inhale, we're going to stretch those hands up. And exhale, bring them down to heart center. Inhale, interlock your fingers and press the hands away. As we breathe in, we're going to reach up. And when you get to the top, it's okay to keep the elbows bent here if you need. And exhale, release. Once more, inhale, stretch the fingers up, maybe take the gaze up. Exhale, bring the hands down through the midline. Inhale, interlock the hands, press them away. And exhale, release. Beautiful. So now we're going to lift the right leg and just do a little bit of working into the foot. We're going to point the toes away, draw them back towards the body. Point away, draw back. Just a few times, wake up the ankles. A little bit of cracking going on is always a healthy sign. And then let's circle any direction. Circle your foot as deeply as it wants to go in one direction. And then we're going to change direction. And then let's change legs. Left foot, point the toe, flex, point, flex, point, flex. Nice way to wake up the feet in the morning. And then circle. And then change direction with your circle. Any amount. Notice if it's a little stiffer on one side than the other. Just noticing that, not judging or critiquing. Let's plant that foot back down. We're going to plant the hands on the legs, but kind of up close to the knees. And we're going to do some cat-cow movement with the chest and the upper back. So on your inhale, we're going to start to lift the gaze, lift the chest, lift the heart. And exhale, bring your gaze down, look down towards your lap. Let the spine curl, let the shoulders curl. Inhale, lift up, a little back bend here, letting the shoulders release down the back, draw the chest forward. And exhale, move in the opposite direction. And then make this more natural to you, whatever feels good, how deep you want to go here. Slow movement with your exhale, let the head be heavy. 2 more. And this last one, inhale, lift the gaze, lift the chest, press the sit bones down, allow the back to arch just a little. And then round the spine, come down. And then coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to bring the hands alongside the neck and interlock the fingers behind the crown of the head. So your fingers are underneath the head, on the top of the spine. And then we're going to sit up tall again. So lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, then bring the elbows together. And this time on your inhale, similar to that cat-cow move, we're going to inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze. Allow the spine to curl. Deep breaths here. And on your next exhale, release that down. And releasing the hands down. We're going to come up to standing. So now, ladies, coming up to standing, having the chair here, just to use it if you need something to hold on to. So we're going to work into our heel lifts that we do every week. We start in our mountain pose, so the feet are hip width apart. We want every part of the foot to be connected to the mat. So have a wiggle around with the feet. We want the toe pads to be connected down, the heels, even the arches. Plant the feet. The knees have a soft bending. And we switch on the thighs, switch on the glutes. Then rolling the shoulders up towards the ears, we can shine the palms forward, broadening across the chest, and then lifting the crown of the head. So imagining that you're growing tall towards the ceiling with each inhale, putting space in between your vertebrae. Tuck the chin just a little, so we're lengthening out the back of the neck. Close your eyes if it feels okay, or soften the gaze. 3 breaths here. And with your inhale, think about lifting and opening the ribs. One more inhale. And at the bottom of this exhale, softly open the eyes. Now we're going to come into our heel lift. So the option is you can hold on to the chair if it feels better, or you can bring in the arms once you've found your balance. So starting off, we're going to rock forward onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels, and then slowly come back down. So once you've found your groove here, you might lift the arms at the same time, slowly coming down. And this small movement, it's not just working into the feet and the legs, it's working into the core. It's getting the spine to move right into alignment. Switching on all of those good muscles that hold us upright, that help us move throughout our day, keeping the joints healthy. Try and inhale as we lift and exhale as we lower. 2 more. This is one of those stretches that you can do around the house, in the kitchen, by the counter every morning. It's a really healthy way to move the spine. So as well as moving the spine, coming up to allow it to sit in its proper alignment, we can do a side bend. So we inhale and lift this outer hand up, other hand on the chair. Inhale to lift the ribs, exhale to lean over any amount here. Try and keep that upper arm strong and reaching overhead. And then on your next exhale, bringing it back down through center. And we're going to turn and do the other side. So you guys can turn. I'm going to do this by moving my chair over here. So we inhale and lift the outer arm up. For me, this is my left arm. We inhale at the top and exhale to stretch over any amount here. And being sure that we try and keep the shoulder stacking over the right, so we don't want to roll forward. We want to try and lift this left arm back. 1 more inhale, and on your exhale, back through center. And then if you move the chair or you've changed direction, just coming back to face forward. Our next movement, let's turn the chair towards us. And we're just going to use this as if we were using blocks. So we're standing behind the chair, feet hip width apart again. So in our mountain pose, we inhale, stretch up. And on your exhale, hands come down through the midline. Bring the hands to the chair and allow your body to soften over your legs so the belly starts to lie across the thighs. The fingers can stay on the chair. You might be able to reach the floor. Maybe you take hold of either elbow and just allow the body to hang here. So if you have low blood pressure, keep your hands on the chair. Always keep the head in line with the hips at the lowest point. Or if you suffer with indigestion, heartburn, try and keep the chest higher. If this feels okay, we stretch into the legs. Maybe you rock a little side to side. We want to feel this in the backs of the legs, also in the lower back. And then bringing the hands to the chair. We're going to find a halfway lift on an inhale. So we inhale, take the gaze forward, shift the balance into the whole foot, press the thigh bones back. Exhale, allow the legs to bend, let the body lie over the legs again. Inhale, halfway lift, press the thigh bones back. Exhale, release. 3 more like this, work at your own pace. Inhale for that halfway lift, flat back, straight legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. And the last one, inhale. Exhale, fold. And then finding that halfway lift just so that we can adjust our legs and come into a downward facing dog. So we're going to step the feet back, keeping hold of the edges of the chair nice and firmly. Step both feet back, nice wide stance. So my feet are going to be as wide as the mat. And we press the hips back and just allow the body to soften here. So the ears can come alongside the biceps. The shoulders stay strong. We're pushing the hips back, lift the sit bones up. The knees can be slightly bent. Taking 1 more inhale here. And on your exhale, we're going to step the left foot forward. Keep hold of the chair. When you step that left foot forward, we want to create some width. So it doesn't want to be in the middle of the chair. We want it over to the left. Pressing down through the back heel. Keep the back leg strong and then bend the front knee. And we're going to come up and find warrior 1. So for warrior 1, we've got a straight back leg. The back heel is pressing down if that feels okay. The front knee is over the ankle. If you want to have a shorter stance here, if this works better, whatever feels good in your legs. Use the chair to adjust yourself for that stability and balance. So the front knee is bent, the back leg is strong, and then we can either bring the hands together at heart center, and you can see I'm facing the short edge of my mat. If it feels okay, you might lift the arms up. And when we do that, try and soften the shoulders away from the ears. So even though the fingers are active and the arms are strong, we don't want to shrug the shoulders up. We want to roll them down the back. Draw your navel in towards the spine. And keep the hands just above shoulder height. The back leg is really strong here. Imagine drawing the thighs together so both of the legs are really activated. From here, ladies, we're going to open this up into a warrior two. So for warrior two, we'll bring the hands down to the hips for a moment. I want you to think about this back foot. We're going to turn on the heel and allow the toes to open a little. Then think about this front foot. We're going to heel toe it a little more central so it's in the middle of the chair seat, if that makes sense. So in warrior two, we talk about the front heel and the back heel being in a line together. Now, if this doesn't feel good on the hips, work with what feels nice. We don't want any pain in the hips, so if you need to keep that left foot wider or this foot more turned out or more turned in, just figure out how it feels good for you. Warrior two, the front knee bends. The important thing, the front knee stops over the ankle. We float the arms out to either side, again softening the shoulders, and then turn to look out over the front hand. And this back leg wants to really root down, so the outer edge of the back foot is sealed down to the floor. You might even lift the inner arch of the foot just a tiny bit to help that seal. And hold. Feel powerful. Draw the energy in through the feet from the earth, going up through the crown of the head, energized and powerful. And now from here, ladies, keeping the legs in exactly the same position, we're going to bend the front elbow and bring that front elbow to the knee. If that feels like too much pressure on the leg, you can bring the front hand to the chair. So you see my legs have stayed in the same position. We've still got this stretch down the back leg. And then I'm going to lift my right arm up and float it out over the top of my body towards that side wall. Keeping the bicep alongside the ear, just like it was in down dog. Activate the legs. Drawing the thighs together, so switching on the muscles there. Extended side angle, Utthita Parshvottanasana. And we're looking for the extension between this middle finger and the outer heel. 2 more breaths here. It's a really powerful pose. On your next exhale, we're going to sweep this right arm around, pull back through that warrior two, hands to the hips, straighten out the front leg. And from here, we're going to turn the hips back to the head of the mat. So going back into that warrior one pose that we were in before means that we need to turn this back foot. Maybe you step that back foot in. So let's take the hands to the chair, step the back foot in a little, turn the toes more forward. Press down through the front leg. So now you see we're here with 2 straight legs. We don't want to lock into the knee joint, so keep that nice little bounce in the knee. The fingers can come to the hips. We're facing that short edge of the mat again. Take a breath in, and this time lift the chest. And when we fold, we're going to fold from the hips, folding over this front leg. Bring your hands to the chair. Pause in this pose when you feel that really nice deep stretch down the front leg. If you don't feel that stretch, you might need to widen the legs, you might need to shorten the legs, or turn your body a little bit more towards that short edge of the mat, let the back heel spin. So once you're here, press down through the front foot. Maybe you can allow your body to fold over that front leg. Maybe you can bring your forearms to the chair. Maybe you stay super high. Find your pose. We're going to spend 5 breaths here. This is known as pyramid pose, also Parshvottanasana, which is slightly different to the extended side angle. It means intense side stretch. So trying to let the upper body be heavy while the two legs are working, but mostly this front leg is stretching. And if you want to deepen it, try and deepen the hip crease on your front leg. Draw the left hip back and the right hip forward. And then taking the chair, hands to the chair. We're going to come out of this pose by stepping back into a down dog. So using the chair for strength and stability, hang on to the edges of it. We're going to lift the left foot and take it back. Any amount here of a distance for down dog, so the hips can come right over the heels. The body starts to reach forward. We keep a really firm grip on the chair and allow your head to just relax in between the upper arms. Then when you're ready, we're going to take the right foot forward. So coming first into our warrior one, we want to step that right foot a little over to the right side of the mat. Just behind the chair, leaving enough space to bend into the right knee. Knee stops over the ankle, back leg is straight. Stand up, keep your hands on the front knee if you need to. Maybe you can bring the hands to heart center, press them firmly together. If you don't have any discomfort in the shoulders, you can lift the arms up. Inhale, exhale, soften the shoulders, activate that back leg, warrior one. Squeeze the thighs together. And those deep breaths. We're going to take one more inhale here, ladies. And then on your exhale, we're going to turn this into warrior two. So spin on the back heel. Allow that foot to open so the body starts to open out a little more. We're no longer facing the short edge of the mat. We're starting to face out over the long edge. Front knee stays over that ankle, but we heel toe the feet a little more central so we have that heel to heel alignment on the front and back leg. Hands flow out, shoulders release. Activate the legs, squeeze the thighs together. Smooth breaths. One more inhale here, ladies. And then on your exhale, we'll bend into this front elbow. Bring that elbow to the knee or bring your hand to the chair. The upper arm sweeps up and over. Extended side angle. Back leg stays strong. Press down through this front heel. One more inhale. And on your exhale, sweep this arm back briefly into warrior two. Then hands to the hips. Spin the back leg forward so that we start to face this short edge of the mat. Take hold of the chair. Step the back foot in a little. And find your intense side stretch. So we come up, fingers on the hips is always a good place to start because we're going to tip from the hips. So press down through both feet. The body is again facing that short edge of the mat, fingers on the hips, and with our inhale we lift the chest. Exhale, start to fold from the hips over that front leg. Hands to the chair. Find that edge of your stretch wherever that sits for you. And if this front leg is bent, that's fine too, as long as you can feel that stretch. And just rest into it. 5 breaths here. Legs stay strong, upper body gets heavy. And then to come out of this pose, take hold of the edges of the chair again. Find that halfway lift, flat back. Step the right foot back, and let's take that down dog pose again. Hips start to edge back. Allow the head to rest between the biceps. You might even let all of the tension go in the neck. Enjoying this stretch. Let the shoulders slide down the back. And then we're going to walk forward and come towards the chair. In fact, let's come all the way down. So we're going to come into our child's pose on the chair. And for child's pose now, guys, if you don't have a carpeted floor like I do, if it's not very soft, you might use a blanket under the knees. A blanket behind the heels can feel nice too. If you don't have any knee issues, you can bring your knees down. Knees are nice and wide. Big toes come together. We start off sat back on the heels. So use whatever props you need here. You might take a pillow behind the heels so that your bum can relax onto the heels. You can use a beach towel or a bath towel just rolled up into a bit of a snake and pop it behind the knees. All those things can release a little bit of tension. We're going to take the knees as wide as it's comfortable to do so and pad in under the knees if you need it. And the chair is just ahead of us. I like to take my fingertips to the chair and see we're sitting up nice and tall. The chest is drawing forward at this stage. Then we just let the fingertips slide forward. So that motion is moving the body forward but keeping the spine lengthened. Then fold the arms and allow your head to come and rest here on the forearms. Once you're here, maybe it feels like, I think you can see with me, my back is arching quite a lot, my lower back. So to correct that, you can point the tailbone down, kind of slip back into the pelvis a little, rock back, and then release again. Then try and release the shoulders. Try and let the body be heavy on the chair so the chair is just taking all of the strain. And now coming up, we're going to come into our final pose here for this short sequence. And this is going to be our legs up the chair pose. So legs up the chair is our variation of Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall. You guys have seen us do that in class. It's a little trickier to get into. Legs up the chair is a really nice variation. So we want to scooch close to the chair so that your bum comes quite close to it. And then we're lying down on the floor. Now again, if you're not on a carpeted surface, you might want a blanket or a pillow behind you. We're going to lift the legs onto the chair. Now this is going to be a restorative pose, so make yourself comfortable. Do you want to put socks on? Do you want to put a sweater on? Do you want to grab a sip of water? Whatever's going to make you feel like you can rest here. So ideally we want the legs to be resting upon the chair at a kind of right angle to the body. And then let the legs just soften. Let the toes fall away from each other. The shin bones might roll out. This is one of the few poses where we just allow the legs to give way. It feels nice sometimes to roll the shoulders under by flipping the palms up towards the ceiling. So this external rotation of the shoulders. And once you have this, tuck your chin. Soften your breath. Close your eyes and allow yourself to soften towards the floor, releasing any tension that you might be holding in the face, in the jaw, the eyebrows, the tiny pieces of skin right in front of the ears on the face. Are you holding tension anywhere? Take a few nice deep, smooth breaths here. Feel the breath move through the body. And with each exhale, feel a little bit heavier on the floor. Allowing yourself to soften. and come into the last few breaths here in this pose. Make them deep and smooth breaths again. And starting to shift the legs away from the chair. We want to finish the practice with Shavasana. So we're going to need to take this chair off the mat in whatever gentle way you can do it. And then lie back down on the floor. Finding that Shavasana pose. So the heels can come as wide as the mat, the toes just fall away from each other, let all of the tension in the legs go. We can turn the palms up towards the ceiling, this action of external rotation in the shoulders, tucking the chin. And resting. And ladies, you can stay in this pose for as long as you want. Please take some time to breathe. Allow the body to soften. And I hope you can come back to this practice again. I will be doing more videos in the future, and in the meantime, namaste.